This is Max Scherzer Pro Boxing Fans. I'd like to join as always by Ade Oladipo. I mean, it's always a bit better when you're abroad, and I do just want to open up. We've spoken quite a bit about your career, and I know you've done a bit for Pro Boxing Fans in the past. Talked about the World Cup. I mean, congratulations overall. We spoke a bit off camera about the heat, but just as an up-and-coming reporter, journalist, just how was that experience?
Can I talk about you for a second, by the way? Like, dude, how far have you come? Like, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I remember when we did the first interview, it might have been about a year and a half ago, and I was like, oh, he's a bit nervous. Now look at you. I've watched a few of your interviews. You're flying.
Thank you.
You're without doubt one of the best out there as well now. So congratulations. You say up and coming journalist. I think you're there already. Obviously now it's just building blocks. But I just wanted to say congratulations to you as well. You sent me a DM to say, look, I'm going to be in Saudi. Let's do it. And I saw you and I was like, okay, let's do it. But back to the question. World Cup was incredible, dude. Yeah. Honestly, like I think most boxing fans are football fans, right? There's that crossover. Working class sport type thing. So I've always enjoyed football, maybe even more so than boxing. But I never thought I was going to be at the World Cup. It's the dream. You write it down, like you would have wrote some goals down. You write it down, but you think, yeah, it isn't going to happen. And then this African broadcaster reached out to me and said, would I like to do games live at the pitch on ground? I was like, what? That's when you sign up and don't even care about the money. I just didn't even, that was secondary. And then they ended up doing like 18 games, 2 countries, like 8 cities. Messi's there, Salah's there, Mbappe's around the corner, Harry Kane's walking. It was just the greatest experience ever. And everyone said it's the best World Cup. I don't know, I haven't done any others, but for me, it will always be my first, and my first will be my greatest. So for me, it's the greatest, but what an experience. And now straight here, boom. Actually, that's a lie. I went home, had to see the missus before we get a divorce, and then straight here. So it's been boom, boom, boom. It's been crazy.
Definitely. I mean, the World Cup is one of the most monumental tournaments out there, and something in boxing monumental is an Anthony Joshua fight week. We're here. I've been asking everyone this, and I know you're quite close with AJ. Just what was your, not even necessarily the first moment, but a moment that stands out with you and Anthony Joshua, or just a memory of Anthony Joshua that stands out with Frank? He told me about going to the medicals, and they said he was a basketball player to get him through it. With Adam Smith, he spoke obviously the journey with Sky. I mean, for you, what is a memory of Anthony Joshua that stands out?
That's a great question. I think my progress from fan to YouTuber to broadcaster. So I feel like I've just had I've done everything with AJ, if that makes any sense. I remember just as a fan, I remember just watching him come through, and obviously there's this British-Nigerian thing, right? We are both linked because of that. We both are from the same tribe in Nigeria. So I'm always like, okay, who's that? That's representing us, but representing us well, right? And then when I started interviewing him as a YouTuber, kind of like what you're doing now, he always used to give me time. And at the time, my channel, tiny. I always think, why is this guy giving me time? Like, there was, obviously IFL TV were booming back then. And I used to think, he's looking at me, like for an interview. And I'm like, so he always used to give me time. And then there was once where he took me backstage after fighting Kevin Johnson, because he'd done all the interviews and I thought he forgot me. He's like, no, let's go outside now, me and you interview. And I was like, this is incredible. So he's always given me time. He's always shown me a huge amount of respect, even though now that I'm a broadcaster, it's quite difficult because I've got to analyze what he does. And if it's bad, I kind of got to say it's bad. And so that's been a bit difficult, that relationship where I can't, although I'm a massive fan of his, I can't treat him like a fan. I've got to treat him almost a bit like it's a job. So that relationship, I think there was a period where it maybe got a little difficult, especially for me anyway, maybe not for him. He probably doesn't even know what I'm talking about, but it certainly did for me. But yeah, ever since then, I've just been a fan of his. I think the way he's handled himself in the media has been fantastic. And this is a guy that's been in front of the media now for 14 years. And you rarely hear or rarely read a bad thing about Anthony Joshua, right? He's just almost been the perfect person. So much so, people always, he's media trained. Well, he could just be a nice guy, So yeah, just being around him has been great. And now, I guess it's the final chapter. Right now, whatever happens, the next 2 or 3 years are it. So I just sort of ask everyone just to enjoy it. We're going to get to a stage where there is no more AJ fight weeks, and I think everyone's going to notice the difference. There is no more Fury fight weeks. There is no more Usyk fight weeks. So I think everyone should just enjoy the time left we have with all 3 of those guys, because collectively there can't be more than 4 or 5 fights left collectively with all of them.
Definitely. A word that has become synonymous with Anthony Joshua as an inspiration. And a lot of time that is because whenever you see him, he's a role model, not only to young children coming up, but also the fighters in Britain, in the world. And like I said, when you talk about a role model, another word is maturity. And something that I keep on hearing him talking about is the maturity in the ring, out of the ring. Is that the difference with Anthony Joshua in this final chapter? The life lessons in the ring and out of the ring?
Yeah, if you use those lessons, right, the defeats, was it 4 defeats now? What happened? Oh,
it's all right. It's all right.
Come in. No, this is good. Sorry. Is this still on? Is this still on?
It is still on.
This is the life we live, people. But it is healthy. It's green tea. My throat's getting a bit hoarse, so we've got lemon there. We've got honey. Got a bit of everything. I need this. It's what you need when you're on broadcast, people. You need all this stuff. And all those biscuits, they're not for me. Those biscuits, they're not. Okay, no, keep it. I will come out and pay you in a second.
Sure, whenever you like.
Thank you.
You want the sugar?
What's this? Sugar? No. We're sweet enough. We're sweet enough. So yes, AJ's. I've always thought AJ was mature. By the way, I've never looked at AJ as immature. Yeah. Even at a young age, I always felt like he was always just the smart person. Maybe over smart, maybe overthinks what he says, but I always felt like he was very smart. And then life has happened. Obviously, the accident at the start of the year, and I think it's a massive sign of maturity the way in which he's dealt with that, because that there would break anyone, and it should break you. And who knows? It could have broke AJ. I guess we're not really going to know until Saturday night, right? Until he steps in the ring. There's one thing doing all the sparring and thinking you're good, and then doing all the training thinking you're good. But when it's the bright lights, how good are you? And look, I pray to God that he's bang on. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he's not, because he's lost 2 of his best friends. So yeah, he's had to deal with a lot, AJ. But he's still here. He's still fighting. He's still smiling. You would have saw him yesterday. He's still signing autographs, doing interviews, as many as he can. He's still trying to be the best person he can be, and I think we should appreciate him as the boxer anyway, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world, but just appreciate him as a person.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, with Anthony Joshua obviously fighting Christian Pringer, do you feel, I know your job is to sell the fight, do you feel like there's been almost a bit of a disrespect towards Christian Pringer? I mean, some of the quotes I saw Dave Allen say, Ngannou would be a favourite against Pringer. Tyson Fury, we know the position he's in, but he's saying Marius Wack would knock out Christian Pringer. I mean, he's got 20 wins all by way of knockout, and then the reality of it is, I said this to Tony, this is his moment. This is the moment of his career. How dangerous can Christian Pringer be, even looking aside from the 20 knockouts?
Yeah, I'm not having the Marius Wack one from Tyson. Tyson, what are you talking about? I'm not having Marius Wack is not knocking out anybody at this stage of his career. Look, let's not pretend. Christian Pringer has been brought in to lose. Yeah. I mean, the record will look semi-decent to those that maybe don't go into BoxRec and really dissect the record, right? This guy's knocked out everyone he's beaten. But the fact is, AJ's here and Prenger's there. AJ's a former unified heavyweight champion of the world who's only lost, as I mentioned earlier, to Dubois, Ruiz and Usyk. Pringer is not those type of guys. AJ was knocking out Pringer types in his 5th fight, 6th fight. So it's not being disrespectful to Pringer, but it's understanding. Even Pringer would understand what he's been brought in to do. If he can cause the biggest upset in the world, then good luck. But he's not supposed to. This is supposed to be AJ just getting out and just feeling, almost getting the dust off, because he's not had a real fight since Daniel Dubois, a real fight, and seeing where he is. Second camp with his new training team. Pringer shouldn't last more than a few rounds. If he does, then I guess it raises more questions than answers. AJ should treat Pringer the way he treated Otto Wallin and Ngannou. He made Otto Wallin basically quit, and he knocked out the beast, the giant that Ngannou is. So that's where Pringer should be. If it's not that, then I guess we're all going to do these interviews again, and it's going to be different types of questions. But it isn't necessarily disrespectful to Pringer. It's understanding that before this fight, no one heard of Christian Pringer. And unless BoxRec have done something sneaky, Pringer's, for me, not a top 50 heavyweight. AJ's still around the top 10, floating around that. So a top 10 guy should be a guy that's not ranked top 50. That's how it should be. But as you know, boxing doesn't work like that. But yeah, I don't think it's disrespectful. I think it's just facts.
Definitely. I was watching Adam Booth. He did an interview, I can't remember what outlet, and he was essentially saying AJ hasn't fought on world level since the Dubois fight. And he kind of countered that with, maybe that's the case, but also his whole career has been on world level. He's fought everyone. He's been at that level. And that's all AJ knows in the professional game, that world level. If he goes in there and gets the job done, which obviously he wants to do, that's what the world wants him to do, Do you feel like that is the key to this, that confidence building fight? And then, like I say, he gets back to that world level that is all he's ever really known in the professional game.
Yeah, he's never really had that step down. And when he has, he's blown those guys out of the water. Like, again, Ottavola and Ngannou. Most of these fights have been, whether or not people like to dig at who they really are and what they've done, they've been guys that are top 10. You know, Parker, top 10. Ruiz, top 10. Povetkin, top 10. Pulev, maybe not, but around that. So he does deserve an easy knock. And I just, when it's that type of opponent, treat them like that. And that's what I want AJ to do. Hamza's going to destroy his guy. Do you know what I mean? I want AJ to do that. Like, if you're a level above, show us. Don't play with the food, right? Just destroy it. And that's what I want AJ to be able to do. But for AJ, even if it's not a world level opponent, the build-up's world level. The pressures are world level. He never can have an under the radar fight. Everything's massive, regardless of the opponent. And I almost love AJ to almost do what Tyson Fury's doing, just having a knock off camera with someone. Yeah. Right? No one's going to be able to watch this Fury fight, right? Imagine Fury could get chinned and we wouldn't know. AJ deserves that, but look, AJ knows who he is. We understand who AJ is. His fame dictates that every fight will be big, kind of like Canelo. Like when Canelo fought William Skull, it was still bigger than it really should have been. And that's who AJ is. So providing there are no banana skins, we know what all this is. This is almost like 2 semi-finals, and the big final will be October, November.
I think I know what you're going to say to this question, but obviously it's my job to ask the question. Tyson Fury fights someone bigger than him for the 4th time in his career. Could that be a banana skin in Marius Wack, or do you think Fury kind of... I saw Gareth A. Davis say that he thinks it'll just go the distance and Fury will get rounds in. Do you agree with that?
If he wants.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tyson Fury could have got rid of Makhmudov. There was times when and then he decided, nah, we're not doing it. We're not stepping on the gas. Yeah. I think Fury's still so good. I still can't name 2 heavyweights that I confidently think can beat Tyson Fury. That's how good I still think Tyson Fury is. Tyson Fury should be able to destroy Marius Vac. He would have beaten Marius Vac 10 years ago with one arm tied behind his back, and that was Marius Vac when he was 35. Marius Vac's 45 and weighs 300 pounds. He can't move, he's not that big a puncher, and his punch resistance is slowly but surely ebbing away. Tyson Fury looks fitter than he's been in years. He just looks light in the jaw, and he knows the carrot being dangled in front of his face is worth 100 million. He's going to destroy Vac.
I know I'd be better off asking this question in 48 hours, but a narrative that I'm sure you will have heard is the later on in their careers Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury happens, it almost plays into AJ's hands because Fury's skills are the elusiveness, the moving, and obviously the older you get, that does naturally slow down. Do you play into that narrative that the later this goes on, it's a better fight for AJ? Or?
No, I don't. I almost feel like there was a time when, you know, like people always question AJ's mental. You hear it all the time. How's AJ mentally? Yeah. That was never a question early in his career. So the AJ early in his career was so destructive. It almost felt like this guy could walk through a brick wall. You felt like he would destroy anybody. I think that AJ would have done better against Tyson Fury. And yes, Tyson Fury would have been a bit more elusive, but you felt like AJ's going to knock him out. There wasn't this question marks about AJ's chin, the mental, none of that. So I think that fresher AJ, who maybe wasn't a better boxer than the AJ is now, but I think this AJ now maybe overthinks a bit. Obviously, there now are scars of defeat, war scars, if you like, battle scars. I would still pick the fresher AJ, who was just, you felt like was a wrecking machine. Like, honestly, I felt like, my God, this guy is indestructible. You can't beat him. I think that AJ, the AJ that fought Vladimir Klitschko, I think would have been better against Tyson Fury. This AJ now is obviously a bit more experienced. I mean, you know, sometimes my only question with AJ, my only worry is, it's been, I think, 7 trainers. Something along the lines of 7 trainers, if you can't in Angel Fernandez. It's a lot of input. And I just wonder, do you flush all the memory of the trainers out and then a new trainer comes in? Does that make any sense? Or is it all there? Yeah. And you're just thinking of, okay, well, he told me this and he told me that. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Like in football, like when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool and Arne Slot won the league the first time round, everyone said it's still Jurgen's team because it felt like it was still Klopp's team. And then we saw Arne Slot's team the second season in Liverpool crap. I just wonder if AJ has too much information from too many trainers. And it's been trainers in short period of times. Derek James, Ben Davison, and now this new trainer. That's all happened in 3 years. That's a lot of trainers. So that's my only worry with AJ. Apart from that, I'm confident that whoever he steps in the ring with, minus Alexander Usyk, he can cause a problem. Not saying he can win, but he can cause a problem.
Just lastly before I let you go, and I've had two opposing views on this. I don't know if you've seen today, Carl Froch said that no matter what these guys do in the rest of their career, they shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Carl Frampton saw it the other way around, and he said, even not going off record, the legacy and the impact that these two have had, you have to put them in the Hall of Fame. I mean, like I say, whether in the Hall of Fame or not, you know the impact that these guys have had. I mean, just what do you react to Carl Froch and Carl Frampton's thoughts?
I don't know if Carl Froch knows that Sylvester Stallone for Rocky Balboa is in the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm sorry, I mean, if we're putting a fictional character, let's shout at Adrian in the Hall of Fame, then both of them were unified heavyweight champions of the world. In AJ's case, twice, but some might say, yeah, it was twice because he got defeated and then won it back. But regardless, record books say twice. Olympic gold medalist. And then what AJ and Fury have done for British boxing is insane. Like Carl Froch always will tell you about the stadium fights. How many has AJ done? Like Carl Froch will set his thing on, I sold out, Wembley Stadium, whatever it was. And look, I love Carl. This is no dig at Carl. Carl's actually my favourite British fighter, believe it or not, alongside Princess Mohammed. But what do you need to do then? Heavyweights world champion, both of them. Tyson Fury going to Dusseldorf and beating Vladimir Klitschko, who hadn't been beaten for 9.5 years. That alone, that one win alone. And then going to America and I think beating Wilder 3 times. One was a draw, but I think he won that fight. So he's gone away from home and got 2 massive wins against, at the time, an unbeaten puncher and a Ukrainian that no one could beat who hadn't been beaten for 9 years. And then AJ, the way in which AJ's rose and just sort of had these millions of fans behind him, sold out stadiums and got new people involved in the sport. I mean, I'm in the sport, you're in the sport, everyone's because of AJ. Nonsense. Carl's just saying it because Carl's in the Hall of Fame. And he's like, and look, Carl has done more than AJ, and in the ring, I think, than AJ and Tyson Fury. His wins are ridiculous. But nothing, it's not like you have to match Carl to be in there. There are other ways to get in, and I think Fury and AJ are most certainly in. Most certainly in. Absolute nonsense, Carl.
And just the absolute last one to wrap this up, we know the new crop of heavyweights coming through. Moses Talma leads the pack there. AJ's shown a willingness to fight a Talma. Fury said he won't fight a Talma. Tyson Fury this week said AJ versus Talma wouldn't even be a fight. I mean, when you look at the two of them, AJ showing the willingness. What would you make of a possible fight between Fury, AJ, Talma? Would you like to see that or not?
Nah, stay away.
Yeah.
If I'm advising Fury and AJ, and you know how much I like AJ, stay away from a Talma. He's too young. He's too fresh. Nah, I think a Talma's frightening. Again, look, everyone says we've not seen a Talma get cracked on the chin, and that's a fair point. We haven't, right? So who knows if 17.5 stone AJ cracks him clean, probably knocks him out. Fury could maybe outbox him, but from what I've seen with a Talma, I think he's just frightening. Honestly, I think he's so good. He moves. I'm watching him, and I think he against Franklin he weighed in around 230 something. Maybe I touched 240. I think it was 230 something. I'm looking at him thinking he moves like a light heavyweight. Like he moves like a guy that's 175 pounds. Yeah. Southpaw, speed. No, you stay. There's not enough money in the world for me to AJ fight him. If I'm AJ and AJ is spoken about undisputed, you let Talma fight Dubois and see what Dubois can do. And if Dubois can win, then you maybe rematch Dubois. That's the route, I think, if you are AJ. Like, unless you have to fight a Talma, you hope someone else beats him and then you fight that person. Because styles make fights. But I do think the Talma style for AJ could be just disastrous because I think the Talma is just too quick.
Definitely, Ade. You know how much I appreciate your time, and I do appreciate it as always.